The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
All right, it's time for a Walking Dead What If, and apologies ahead of time. This is going to be a little bit shorter than most Walking Dead What Ifs because, like yourself, we love The Walking Dead, and we can sit here and usually talk for easily an hour or two on it. But today, it's Friday, and we've just got so much to do that, unfortunately, we're just having to squeeze this in when we can. So if we don't get to your question, don't stress it. Don't take it personal. We'll definitely get around to it on the next What If. But JP, man, you ready to go?
Yeah, man. Let's fire away. This first one comes from UV. What if Rick and the old gang ran into Negan before he started the Saviors?
Wait, say that again?
What if Rick and the old gang, so we're talking about the original group coming straight out of Atlanta, ran into a pre-Savior Negan, like Negan, had just left his hometown. I guess we're talking about like the here's Negan kind of Negan,
Right. That's kind of a loaded question. I say that because it's like, at what point, so are we gonna, we don't really know his backstory from the show. I mean, we know the comic backstory, but, the show, he talks about Lucille dying of cancer, and I assume that they're imagining that it's the same thing. If so, he might have actually got along with them because Rick, Negan in the comics found himself with a lot of different groups spoilers, if you don't want to know anything about the Negan backstory, I would tune away now. But, in the comics, half the reason he got to be so tyrannical is because he got tired of seeing the people he was with die.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to do what I tell you, and I'm going to keep you alive whether you want to do it or not. I believe they would have definitely had a conflicting... they would have had some kind of impasse at some point, but I don't think they necessarily would have been enemies out the gate.
No, and I think it might have kept Negan from kind of turning bad the way he did. He would have had people that didn't necessarily need his protection. He would,
that's a very good point.
Yeah, the balance of power would have been a little bit more shared where that was concerned. So
that's a very good point because they definitely were survivors, and Negan hadn't really encountered people who could survive on their own. They needed him. So you're right. It could have stopped Negan from going. He definitely would have still had the same personality because we know that he, in the comics, he liked to cuss to seem cool around the kids he was around. But that's a good point. Yeah, Rick and company could have possibly saved Negan from being so evil.
Yeah, definitely would have been a game changer. So, yeah, let's see who we've got. I want to try to jump around. Here's from Dylan Watson. What if Rick, Daryl, and Glenn never left to go find Merle in season 1? Would Amy and Jim and Ed still be alive?
Well, I don't know about Amy because she was the first one to get attacked. Maybe if Rick was there, they would have set up a perimeter. But, Rick and Shane, they're both cops. So I feel like if Shane hadn't, number one, I think they should have absolutely had a perimeter set up. If we were in that situation, there's never going to be a point, sadly, where we're all going to be sitting around a fire together. Somebody's got to be on watch at all times. One could maybe argue that if Rick were there, he would have wanted to set up a perimeter. But, I feel like Amy would be a goner either way. Now, as far as everyone else, I don't know. Because, also, too, one thing that helped was Rick and them came back with all those guns that they didn't have originally.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fight would have been if they would have had just a few guns and a lot of blunt objects, but more bodies to fight, the loss might have been greater. Who knows? It might have been minimalized. But I think either scenario, Amy was a goner because she was the first one to get bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was. So, yeah, the body count might not have been as bad, but like you said, we might have lost someone even more, vital to the group.
Like Glenn.
Right. So,
Glenn wasn't really that strong of a fighter then. He had a gun when he came back, and that helped. But, Glenn kind of grew, which, Glenn did fine with blunt objects or sharp objects and hand-to-hand with zombies. But at the same time, you just never know, man. You could have had... you could have had a different turn of events, but nonetheless, I feel like Amy would have been the first bitten, unless you want to try to say that Rick would have had a perimeter set up and they would have seen that zombie coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Good question, though.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Man, here's an interesting one from Stefan Miller, which nothing out of the ordinary. Stefan's always got really interesting scenarios. What if the Season 3 Fear the Walking Dead group, because let's be honest, that was the best of Fear, was in the lineup instead of the Walking Dead co, a.k.a. Madison, Troy, Nick, Alicia, Strand, and if you want to throw Morgan in there, that's dealer's choice. Who would have gotten the bat by Negan, and how would the lineup have played out? First pick and second pick, a.k.a. who would take Abraham and then Glenn's place, or would Negan have just taken them in no lineup, just invite?
Huh.
That's pretty wild, man.
Well, in order for them to find themselves in the same position, they would have had to have crossed Negan, right? I mean, I know that generally their rule was they kill somebody to show you how serious they are.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Part of me likes to think that if Negan meets you, at least himself, on the road and you're fully cooperative, then maybe you'd be spared. But I don't know. I mean, it's like to show you how serious we are. Well, if this person's already pissing their pants and the whole group is like, oh, no, we'll do whatever you say. But then again, I don't know. You might think it's an act. But who from the Daniel, probably. I mean, if you want to put someone in the Abraham, like not going to back down, not going to show any fear to Negan, I would imagine Daniel would be the toughest out the bunch.
Yeah, I could definitely see Troy bucking,
Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet Troy. Sweet psychotic Troy.
Yeah.
We miss you. They should have left him. He would have been great to have him and Nick develop almost a Shane and Rick kind of once good friends, slow rivalry type deal, which, Nick died not long after that, so I guess it don't matter. But
I mean, if they knew Nick was going to leave the show, they would have kept Troy around just to kind of have someone to fill that void.
Those two were great on screen together, man.
Yeah, they really were, man. It really makes me want to eat some brain stems, trip balls in Mexico.
I definitely think probably Daniel, but I mean, I could see Troy running his mouth too, but
yeah.
I like to say that Negan would look at Troy and think more, I could use him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Negan's really good at picking up on people's, just how they're feeling for the most part. And it's like, I feel like he could look at Troy and be like, okay, he's running his mouth, but it's show. I could probably use him to my advantage. This guy ain't quite all there. Looking at Daniel, I mean, his whole thing with Rick was he didn't like the way Rick was looking at him. And I don't know about you, but I saw a terrified Rick even before he put him on the RV.
Yeah.
So, he would look at Daniel and just be able to tell, like, this guy is not going to fall in line. Like, this is not, because Daniel, even if you didn't know how badass he was, you could look and tell he was the kind of guy he didn't take any shit from you.
Yeah, and I could maybe see Nick jumping up and popping Negan in the jaw, just because he's so pissed off. And then, so who would be Glenn if Daniel is Abraham and Nick is Daryl? Who would be Glenn?
That's a good question, because I feel like, I don't know, because he knew that Glenn was Maggie's husband.
Yeah.
Because when he was like, you look shitty. I should, just finish you up right now or whatever. Glenn was like, no. And I think Negan drew the connection there. So when he killed Glenn, he knew he was killing someone's husband.
Yeah.
He would kill Daniel. Nick would jump up and punch him. I would hope, please, Negan, don't do it. Don't kill old Strand. You've not even gotten to know me yet. Yeah. There are so many amazing things I can show you.
I think Strand could talk himself out of that one.
I like this son of a bitch. Yeah. Get him out of the line. Put him in my trailer. That's tough. Who do you think? If you had to pick a stand-in for Glenn, who do you see getting the bat?
That's tough, man, because I definitely don't think he would have killed one of the ladies. I mean, I guess the only one it could really, unless he just wailed away if Nick ended up being Daryl and Glenn, but I mean,
Troy's still there.
Yeah, I was going to say,
what about Troy's brother? Remember Troy's brother?
I don't remember Troy's
brother. Troy had a brother. Remember his brother pretty much tried to stop Troy's.
He was like the good guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Troy's brother.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Like you said, and yes, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scarf down breakfast. I'm trying to cut off my mic when I'm not talking, though, so you don't have to hear me chewing. But I don't see him taking out Madison or Alicia. And going from comic Negan, he was scared to kill someone who was of color because he was like, I don't want people thinking I'm a racist.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to say Troy's brother, just as far as not even just circumstantial, but like writing. He's just kind of the perfect character there to just bash his brains in.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well. We got a good one from a new listener, a newish listener, Christian, from 6 days ago.
Christian.
What if Lydia wasn't the one captured on the bridge, considering Alpha being insanely strong and only keeping the community alive because of her daughter? If her daughter wasn't there, would she just wipe them out without hesitation?
Probably so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, probably, yeah, because once she got her daughter back, I mean, she was making plans. Mm-hmm. Maybe not necessarily to bring the entire horde, but she was definitely messing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Alpha was just, I don't know if it's something internal that she really feels, like threatened by another group, or if she's just, because, it's kind of weird that they put the wolves in the show, because the wolves really kind of behaved like the Whisperers, just minus the masks. I mean, I really, honestly, if I'm being honest, I think that putting the wolves in there was really stupid. I just felt like that was, I get, kind of what they were going for with that one character, but it just kind of was stupid. It was kind of like Whisperers light. Like, what are you doing? You could have given their part to the Whisperers. That guy would have made a great Whisperer, the one with the messed up teeth. Well, they're not messed up, but they were just dirty as hell. But yeah, no, I totally think that, it might just be that she's playing that role. Like, she knows, okay, wolves and other animals are very territorial. Mm-hmm. So because I'm running my camp that way, we're going to have to take out anyone that, Yeah. Which then again, she did tell Daryl, though, like, stay on your side of the border and there'll be no problems. Mm-hmm. Like, she was messing with them, but she wasn't necessarily just trying to wipe them out.
Yeah, I definitely think she would have been maybe more inclined if Lydia hadn't have been there, but they definitely would have had to, like offend her in some bigger way for her to just let loose,
I miss Alpha. Do you miss Alpha?
Kind of, sort of.
I really liked her. I mean, she's not how I imagined her when reading the comic. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
But with that said, I really think that Samantha Morton, right? I think I was calling her Morrissey or something. Samantha Morton did a great job playing her, and I like her take. Just like the Governor. The Governor was very different than his comic counterpart, but I very much enjoyed him.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely had, like, the creepy factor and the crazy factor. Like I said, sometimes the accent would get on my nerves a little bit. But.
Well, in the comics, she didn't have the creep factor. If anything, she was scary because she seemed like this she's like a cult leader. She's just this hyper-intelligent, very calm demeanor. I would describe her as like a cool, calm, collected kind of demeanor in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
And just very intelligent and almost like you didn't even know if she really believed the BS she was spouting, but it kept her people in line, Mm-hmm. Whereas once it got to screen, she was very creepy.
Yeah.
Always. But with that said, I did like it. I would have still loved to have seen Sarah Paulson with a shaved head playing that role in a more comic book way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she made it her own, though. You got to give her that.
Like I said, I enjoyed her. I miss her. I think she was a good villain.
Ashley O'Neill, love Ashley. She doesn't have a what if, but she does say if we have the time, we should fit in a what if every week. And she also says, I think y'all will like The World Beyond.
Two things. One, we do what if every week. And two, we weren't a big fan of the first episode. However, I'm being optimistic and thinking it's going to get better. So I'm not ruling it out by any means.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. And I guess she was just talking about when we were considering maybe cutting off the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if she was new to the channel.
Oh, no.
We do Walking Dead what ifs pretty much every week. But, there's a chance it might get cut out between doing Fear. And we don't know, but we enjoy them. We're trying to give you as much content as we can.
We have a sex bot that wants some love.
Why are we?
That.
And you said Ashley was that girl's name, right?
Yeah.
Ashley, thank you for the comment, though. We really appreciate it. Sex bots. Why are we getting so many sex bots on our profile?
I don't know if it has to do with the Barn of Pleasures. I don't know. It's not like we put that in the title, like, come join us in the Barn of Pleasures.
JP, we do not discriminate whether it be AI or intelligent beings.
One day there's gonna be like an app where you can just put your dick right in the phone.
King Ezekiel will allow anybody into the barn of pleasures, granted they are 18 years or older.
Oh, of course. Of course. But let's see, the only person we have not hit on is our old friend Allie Smith. What if the masked person with Maggie in the season 10 finale is Felix from the world beyond?
Huh.
Now there's something.
That would be a cool twist, because, I mean, it would be, well, yeah, I guess it's the timeline's so screwy, man.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's why I was trying to piece together in my head.
I could figure it out, but I'd have to sit down with, like, a pen and paper.
We need, like, a graph. We need some Sharpies.
Like the It's Always Sunny meme?
Yeah,
with the conspiracy theories?
It's almost trying to figure out time travel in the MCU, It's very difficult.
Yeah, now I think that would be awesome. I would love for these two to connect. Like, we've been waiting for Fear to cross over with The Walking Dead. Like, I know they said it's not going to happen, it's a totally separate show, but then they brought Morgan and they brought Dwight. I mean, like, dude, come on. Nobody likes Fear anymore. Like, just save yourself some dignity and just cross your best characters over onto The Walking Dead, which that's another problem I think The Walking Dead has going right now. They've always had a big cast of characters, but they always killed off characters.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't. Now they don't really kill off main characters except for villains for the most part. I mean, I know someone could say, well, in the mid-season finale last year, I know that, but I mean, we just don't have very main characters dying.
Pretty
like
much, unless an actor is just ready to leave the show, they don't kill them off.
Right.
Like Jesus, he wanted to leave the show. Nick wanted to leave the show.
Yeah.
Rick wanted to leave the show.
Yeah, I really, it's just one of those where it's like, man, you've got a great ensemble of characters, but you've got too many. I mean, you got to thin it out.
Yeah.
And then you had some where they killed off characters that I disagree with, but like when they killed Oscar in the prison when he was at Woodbury fighting, I thought that was stupid because I liked Oscar. He was a former prisoner. Axel was now dead. I thought there was a real chance for some growth in making this character become a part of the series, but then they were like, no, and then they just shot him in the side, and he was like, ah! And then he fell off the bus and died. Was that from the What If video or from this week's episode review?
No, that was from the What If video.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I would like to see the two shows connect, but I don't know, how they plan to do that yet. I'm really interested, and again, it's because A, it was late. And B, the episode just kind of bored me. But apparently everybody but us is saying that, like, the whole community was wiped out with zombies from them containers once the kids left or something. Excuse me.
Really? I'm going to go back and rewatch.
I plan to rewatch it tonight or tomorrow before the new episode comes out. Like I said, I want it to be good. If you go back and listen to past podcasts, JP and I have been very optimistic for this show.
Yeah, man.
Like we've been saying, we really hope it's going to be a good one because, the Fear was so bad that we would really like to have another sister show that, especially now that it's ending.
Yeah.
I'm just checking real quick to see if we had any what ifs on this week's episode.
But according to a lot of reviews and stuff, we're not the only person throwing any hate at the World Beyond. It was not super well received.
The thing is, we want to be honest with you guys. I mean, like we don't want to just be Walking Dead yes men. Like, we love the show. It's going to go down as one of my absolute favorite shows, and it's something I'll tell my daughter about. It's one of my favorite shows in existence. But, I mean, when it or the franchise does something I don't like, I don't want to just be a yes man for the series and be like, oh, boy, unless they want to pay me. AMC, holla at your boy. You want to pay us. Hardwick. I'll say everything they do is gold, but right now we're being honest,
When you get older, do you think there's going to be a Halloween where you'll be Rick Grimes and your daughter will be Judith?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just waiting for her to get a little bit older.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to give her a little katana. I'm going to give her a little sword. Well, a katana is a sword. Sorry. I'm going to give her a katana. I'm going to give her the little sheriff hat.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. I'm Judith Grimes. Oh, yeah. We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
We got one more Walking Dead what if from Ashley O'Neill. Welcome back, Ashley. What if Tyrese would have made it to the Negan lineup? Do you think he would have stood up to Negan like Abe did? And if so, would he have been the one to get Lucille and not Abe? Then we could have had Abe in the Whisperer arc. How do you think he would have handled them? You know what? Tyrese was not an aggressive guy, but also Tyrese was not one to back down either, though. I mean, Tyrese, let's think about Rick. When Tyrese gets mad or I think Tyrese would do the sacrifice play if he had to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for Sasha. I mean, he and Sasha were very close. And honestly, even though these are fictional characters, I'm kind of glad he didn't have to live to see her die. That would have absolutely broke his heart.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere somebody commented and said they didn't think Tyrese would do that. I don't know. I mean, I could kind of see Tyrese doing that. I mean, it's not, he's not just killing someone. It's not like the church scene where they lure people in and kill them. Or, he's killing, he would be standing up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with that. But, I mean, I could see Tyrese standing up and, puffing his chest out and just being like, do what you got to do, man.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could even see him saying something like, you don't have to eeny, meeny, miny, mo, man. Just pick me. I could see Tyrese being willing to sacrifice himself for Sasha and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Because he wasn't aggressive and he wasn't like in your face unless you pushed him to that point. But at the same time, he wasn't a coward by any means.
Do you think if Jesus had been in the lineup, he would have grabbed Negan's bat, did the old switcheroo, had it at his throat, and just been like, "Everybody, back the hell up! I'm a ninja.
Back up! I know karate."
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a gun? Like on Rick and Morty, remember that episode this season where they were on the app with the ship that made the app, and he's like,
"Yeah.
Do they have guns? No, they don't have a gun." He's like, "We'll hit you really hard," but it'd be like, "I know karate." Does he have a gun? No, I don't have a gun. Kill him. But probably it really is. I had said earlier this week that there was a scene in the comics that was my favorite, but there really is kind of a tie for my favorite because I've said for a while one of the best scenes. Yeah, I think I said the Negan Beta fight was one of my favorite scenes from the comics, and it was. But another one of my absolute favorite scenes in the comics ever, because I think I mentioned this one a while back when I was fussing about how underutilized Jesus was in the show. I loved in the comics where Negan has, they come to Alexandria and they got the grenade launcher. Well, they actually had grenades in the comic, not grenade launchers. And they're chunking the grenades over the side and the fight breaks out and Negan gets them all lined up again. He's about to do the whole lineup again. And all of a sudden, Jesus comes jumping out the bushes like a tiger or something. And Negan swings the bat and Jesus catches it with his hand and then takes it and pops Negan in the face with his own bat. Then he gets behind him and does what you're talking about, like pulls the bat up to him or whatever. I love that scene.
Yeah.
Like, damn, Jesus had Negan dead to rights right there. Like, Negan couldn't even take Jesus.
No.
I'm telling you, man, Jesus' underutilization in this show is one of the biggest travesties it's ever done.
Oh, for sure, man.
I mean, Jesus was such a fan favorite.
Yeah, he was great. They definitely dropped the ball on him.
My favorite character out of the comics for sure. I mean, it's a lot of great characters. I mean, that kind of discounts Rick because how is Rick not in your tops? But that's kind of unfair. The main characters. So I mean, like really, Michonne and Jesus would probably be my two favorite characters from the comics.
Me too.
Just because, man. I mean, they were so awesome. Which Michonne in the show was awesome. They did a great job with her. But Jesus was they just didn't do a good job. They showed you that he was badass, but I mean, the whole thing in the comic is there's nobody in the Walking Dead comic universe that can take Jesus hand to hand.
Yeah.
Beta starts to kind of get the advantage of him, but Beta also ambushed him. Because that was another badass scene. Beta comes behind him with the knife and goes to slash him from behind, and Jesus does this Matrix back bend, and it goes right over his face. And then he swings back to his back and kicks Beta with his foot like he was ambushed. But I mean, Jesus was so badass.
Yeah, man.
And again, Thomas Paine, I was not happy when they casted such a small guy to play Jesus because I was like, he wasn't a big guy, but he was a lot bigger than that. I mean, he joked with Rick about being so small. Mm-hmm. But then once he got on screen, I was like, you know what? I could take the size difference away. I like Tom Paine. He plays a good Jesus. I'm really digging this. And he looks a lot like him.
Yeah, he does.
So I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. Size difference, not a big deal. I like this version of Jesus. And then they did nothing with it.
Not a thing.
Nothing. And then he wanted to leave because he's like, I mean, I felt bad too. Like, I watched the behind the scenes where he's like, dude, I started taking martial arts, started doing acrobatics. Like, I mean, he really did his research, read the comics, and was like, okay, this character's flexible. He does flips and stuff. I mean, he knows martial arts. I've got to be able to do this stuff. So he started training hardcore, and they only used it like twice. Maybe 4 times I can think of. Once when he's fighting Morgan, which was the best thing he had fighting-wise. Once when he kind of somewhat hi-ya'd Rick, when Rick tried to grab him from behind. Once when the walkers invaded the hilltop, and he did a few like little kick things. And then what was it? It was one more time. And I know he like took his foot and like pinned a zombie when the hilltop had all the people had been infected and were turning inside the house.
Yeah.
But there was like one more time I can think of where they showed off his martial arts, and I mean like that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when he died, he did that cool little.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the trailer came out for that season, and I think we had said, like, you saw Jesus do the, like, jump up on one zombie, kick him, and slash the other. Mm-hmm. I think we had said, yes, they're finally going to make Jesus the badass he is with Rick. You know, we knew, with Rick gone and all of this, Jesus is going to get his time to shine. And little did we know that, like, 2 seconds after that, he died.
Yeah.
But hopefully you enjoyed today's Walking Dead What If. We're sorry it's so short, but I mean, really, we've got a mountain of work we've got to get to.
A lot going on, yeah.
And, so we've got to get that done. But hopefully you've enjoyed the podcast. Thank you to everybody that comments. And we'll try to continue to have these once a week as long as we can. It depends on how, if the Fear the Walking Dead's no more interesting than last year and the world beyond doesn't pick up, we're not going to be having very long podcasts about them. Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely have Walking Dead What Ifs. But we love you. We hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastingdead. You get, for as little as $1 a month, you can get 8 extra podcasts, exclusive podcasts per month. And if you want to do $5 or $10, that's cool too. Mm-hmm. That helps us. We've been saying we're going to set up a tier setup at some point. But right now we're just like, hey, even $1, you get the extra podcast too. Yep. So jump on that. Nothing else. Just like and subscribe. Helps us out a ton. We'll see you on Monday.
I believe
so.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, we'll see you on Monday. Because if these seasons pick up, then I'd be down to do live streams after them. But if we're looking at what we looked at last week, by the time we got logged in and did a live stream after the World Beyond, it'd be time to log off.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear, man. If the episodes just blow us away, then of course we'll live stream.
Right.
But yeah, if we're just like falling asleep by like 11 o'clock, then I don't know.
But of course, once The Walking Dead comes back early 2021, we'll definitely be doing each episode live streams after. So we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And with the Podcasting Dead. That's the sound JP makes trying to stand up off the couch. And that was not him adjusting the mic boom. That's just how rigid his body is.